I'm very much, Manchester United over everything. But those stories of those teams that, when San Marino get a win, or Iraq being at the World Cup and getting to see Zidane Iqbal there, who started his life out at United. And yeah, the Cape Verde story has been amazing. But yeah, generally loving the World Cup, and all the big names have arrived as well. And I know I'm a Man United fan, but Erling Haaland has probably been my favourite player of the tournament. I think he's been unbelievable on and off the pitch. And then the Kylian Mbappe, Messi story as well. It's unbelievable. Shame Ronnie didn't turn up. But yeah, it's been a great tournament so far.
You can tell us if you want us to edit that Erling Haaland bit out after. And you're just picking up on that. You're more club than country. Are you one of those fans that you're looking at the World Cup, and as much as you want to see Manchester United players doing well, is part of you thinking, actually, just rest them?
Yeah, I'm a little bit like that with Kobbie Mainoo, because I find it remarkable. Now, people might call me biased, but I think he should be starting for England. He was excellent for them the last time they got to the final against Spain. And I think he's a really, really good footballer. And I just feel like with Anderson and Rice in there, maybe you could just have one of those and then get Kobbie in there, and they'll be a little bit better in possession of the ball. But part of me is like, let's get him rested up. Also, it doesn't help that I'm half Indian and half Irish, so we never have any teams at the World Cup.
You never know. You never know. They're expanding the World Cup.
Yeah, maybe they expand it so much.
If they don't get in then maybe give up. Yeah. Right, we're going to totally hold our hands up here, and in the spirit of transparency, there has been a story that has broken off. We finished recording this podcast, but it was so big, we've got to put it at the top. So please excuse if there's a little bit of a messy edit, but I think you'll think it is worth it. And it is the news that Manchester United are in talks over the signing of Aston Villa midfielder Youri Tielemans. There's an understanding that there's a £35 million release clause in that deal. Now, it looks like that this one is going to accelerate following Belgium's exit from the World Cup. Adam, let's just start with that. Manchester United, Youri Tielemans, is it something that's exciting you? What's your initial reaction to that news?
I'm excited by this. I've been a bit jealous that Aston Villa were able to get him on a free transfer from Leicester City, and I think he's been absolutely fantastic for them. He was great for Leicester City. I remember his goal in the FA Cup final, winning that for them. And obviously, I think he stood out for Belgium as, we had some real key players out or not performing, and I think Youri Tielemans stepped up and he was almost a leader for them during the World Cup. All right, they didn't live up to maybe the expectations of their fans, but I still think he had a very, very good tournament. And at 29 years old, I think he brings a little bit of experience with him. I think he's a fantastic player, and this is a signing that, again, it's kind of come out of the blue a little bit. And if this is an alternative to Ederson, I think the alternative's better than the first choice almost. But the fact that Villa got him for free, it means, anything they get is almost profit. And I'm really excited by this deal, and excited to see him on a Man United shirt. And if another club, if one of the other clubs in and around us bought him, I'd be a little bit jealous of that. So fantastic player.
And someone who is significantly Premier League experience, ready to go at that age where he has experienced it all in the Premier League so far. Yeah.
Like I said, because we keep getting linked with younger players, don't we? And Kobbie Mainoo's still pretty young himself, and we do speak about Kobbie Mainoo a little bit later. And
but maybe this will give United the comfort to go for a younger player now that they brought someone like Tielemans in, or are about to bring someone like Tielemans in.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, that's the benefit of it. And you always need a little bit of experience in the team. We've lost a few over the years, and Youri Tielemans is someone that's Champions League proven as well. I'm just really excited by this. He's such a really good footballer. And watching Aston Villa over the years, he can play it one touch. He can manoeuvre out of tight spaces. Does he provide us with the perfect foil for Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo? Maybe not. Maybe in some games you can play 2 8s and a 10 and get away with it. And I'd be really interested to see how that would work out. But for me, I think he represents a signing that, will immediately come in and do the business for Manchester United, and I have no doubts about that. And again, I think it shows Manchester United fans that the club are doing things with the cards very, very close to their chests. I know we see everyone on Twitter at the moment reporting different news about different players potentially going to different clubs, and then we just see bombshells come out of nowhere. Andre Santos comes out of nowhere. You know, Yuri Tielemans comes out of nowhere. I think United fans should be excited by this a little bit, because it means we don't know what's going on. And whilst we assume sometimes that they're dragging their heels, they're taking their time, are they really in discussions? How come they only talk about one player at a time? I think it's something that a lot of fans that say. It shows that they are doing the business behind the scenes, and they're making things happen, and the wheels are moving. So I don't know, this is a move that not only on the pitch but off the pitch should fill Manchester United fans with excitement.
So the way Manchester United are approaching this deal is effectively triggering a release clause, which is understood to be £35 million, because I don't think Aston Villa have got any intention of selling him, but it's clearly out of their control. What do you make of that kind of fee for a player of his ability, but also his age bracket as well?
I think that's a great fee, to be fair. I think if you were to negotiate with Aston Villa to sign him, like you say, they don't want to let him go. They want to get him signed to a new contract. If you were to go there and sit down at a table with him and start negotiations without that release clause in there, you're looking £50 million starting price, right, at the very, very minimum. To see us bring a potential replacement for Ederson in at a cheaper price, I know marginally cheaper, I think that's great news. I genuinely do, and I think this is such a shrewd deal for Manchester United to do. At least I didn't know that release clause existed. So they're obviously doing their business and maybe had a little word with his agent or whatever. But yeah, I think £35 million for Yuri Tielemans, not only the experience it brings, but the quality as well. And 29 is still young. I know we look at footballers now, once they hit 30 and we're like, oh my God, he's knocking on a little bit. But I think that shows that he's a good player, man. And I'm really excited to see him. I'm very excited to see this one, I can't lie. And when we got told that the news had just broken, I felt like I was on Sky Sports News deadline day with you for start. But also, it filled me, I don't know, I felt excited inside. I really want to see Yuri Tielemans playing for Man United, and I hope we get this deal done.
Brilliant stuff. So, just a reminder of that breaking news we received once we've recorded the main body of this podcast is that Manchester United in talks over a deal to sign the Aston Villa midfielder Yuri Tielemans. We can now return to the main body of this Manchester United special on this Transfer Talk podcast. With regard to Manchester United, the big story kind of has been the on and off move of Ederson. Mm-hmm. It was all agreed with Atalanta for a fee of around £38 million. It looks like it's in the balance at the moment. Doesn't look like, as it stands, Manchester United are going to pursue that deal. What are your thoughts on it? And overall, just as a player, if they aren't going to go for him, do you think it's the right decision?
The way I looked at him a little bit was almost if he's just going to be a squad player, he can bring a little bit of energy, because we've got so many fixtures coming up hopefully this season with the Champions League added and both domestic cups, and last season hopefully be an anomaly in that we had a game every 2 weeks or something like it felt like. So I was kind of just looking at him as a squad player, and I was interested to see how we could get on. It was funny to me that when we signed him, a lot of United fans, especially online, were like, oh my God, I can't believe we've signed this guy. And then the deal is potentially off, and it's like, United can't make a deal happen. Like, what are they doing? But it's interesting, if it is to do with the medical, then I'm quite pleased that United are doing their due diligence, and maybe the part of me feels a little bit skeptically that once the Mateus Fernandes deal, didn't happen for them, then maybe they thought, well, the profile of midfielders we want to get and the money that we need to spend to get them, maybe we can do without getting Ederson. But if it is to do with the medical, as we're led to believe, then I remember us signing Rasmus Højlund and him having injury issues as soon as he arrived, and a few other players having injury issues. We've seen the problems we've had with Mason Mount since he arrived, who I think really good lad, really good player, but just never available as much as we want him to. So we can't afford to have those transfers that don't work for us, and we don't have a player available, and then when you try and resell them, you can't get the value for them. So I think it probably makes sense if there is an issue there. One of the things with United this summer, it seems, and in the past summers as well, is that we all get linked to these players, and then it'll be a deal that kind of comes out of nowhere. Senne Lomans came out of nowhere when it looked like we were going to get Emi Martinez. Ollie Watkins was spoke about for a long time, and then we get Benjamin Sesko, who seemed destined for Newcastle, it felt at the time. And then this Andre Santos one, no one was talking about it until it seemed done. So maybe United are doing things a little bit better in terms of the way we're negotiating deals and not letting as much slip out and into the media. And